What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Yesterday I got a really cool little oddball fish that I added to the African cichlid tank, and it just might be a fish that some of you guys may have never even heard of or even seen before. But first, before we get to that, I've got some bad news. If you guys watched the last video, you know that I was out of town for a few days and my fish were still getting fed and all that, but they weren't getting fed as much as I was feeding them. Fish do some crazy things, especially predatory fish, when they get hungry. Now, if you guys remember about 2 or 3 months or so ago, my pike cichlid actually tried to eat my little baby Sundownis catfish that was in the tank with him, and luckily I was able to save the pike, but I wasn't able to save the catfish. And if he would have, fully swallowed that catfish, it would have killed him. So I was able to save the pike, and there was a little bitty lemon cichlid that I was keeping in with the pike cichlid for the past few months now, and I haven't seen any signs of aggression out of the pike towards the cichlid. And when I came back, the pike cichlid had eaten the lemon cichlid. Now, it doesn't stop there. You would have thought that lemon cichlid would have been big enough for him to eat and would have no problems eating it and all that, but it killed him. It literally killed the pike when he, fully ingested the lemon cichlid. It's crazy. I don't know exactly how it happened, but it did. So that really sucks because, he was a really cool fish, and I mean, he was some of your guys' favorite fish and all that. So I don't know if I'm going to get another pike cichlid right now. I'm not moving forward with the African cichlid tank. I'm going to turn it back into an African cichlid tank, and at least now I won't have to worry about the pike cichlid, going after any of the African cichlids that I had in there. And I mean, that's just one of the things that you have to deal with when you keep predatory fish. Like I said, when they get hungry, they will do some crazy things. If you don't keep a pike cichlid fed really well, he's going to try to eat and, go after the other fish that are in the tank. So it sucks. I might end up getting another pike cichlid. Right now I'm not, though. Like I said, I'm just focused on, really making this African cichlid tank look really nice. But on to the fish that I got yesterday. Now, this is a really cool fish. It's an oddball fish, and what I like about these fish is that they're kind of similar to, they kind of remind me of like tinfoil barbs, bala sharks, the flagtails and all that, because they don't do a whole lot of swimming. They're a really cool fish that gets really big, and they're non-aggressive, but they can actually go with bigger aggressive fish. And this oddball fish actually happens to be a fish that can go in with other African cichlids and tends to do pretty well with them. So I wanted to have one kind of oddball fish mixed in with all the other peacocks in there. By the way, I don't know why I keep calling it an African cichlid tank, because African cichlids are a big family of cichlids. It's going to be a peacock cichlid tank, an all-male peacock cichlid tank. So from now on, I'm going to start trying to call it a peacock cichlid tank. But that fish is a banded leperinus. Now, these guys get really big. He's tiny right now. He's probably only about 2.5–3 inches or so, and I put him in there last night. He's been doing just fine in there with the 2 other Sundownis catfish, and those 3 guys are the only fish in the tank right now. Now, these guys aren't the fastest growing fish or anything like that, but they get really big. They can get up to around 12 inches or so, and with him being as tiny as he is and in big of a tank as he is, he's definitely got a lot of room to grow. So it's going to be really fun having this guy in here, and if he does really well, then he's going to get really big. And I might end up getting another one. I'm not really sure right now, depending on how well he does in there. If he seems like he's still really stressed out after about a week or so, then I might just end up getting another one to hopefully kind of help him feel a little bit more comfortable in the tank, because I mean, it is a pretty big tank, and the 2 catfish that are in there, they've definitely got some size on them. And the peacock cichlids that I want to add to the tank are going to be bigger than him, because I want to do, like I said, an all-male tank, and I want there to be a lot of really nice colors. And for peacock cichlids to have a lot of really nice color, usually they've got to be at least 3 to 4 inches before they start getting any of that really bright and really beautiful colors that they can get. But for now, that guy is doing really good in the tank, and of course I'll be giving you guys updates on him over the course of the next few videos and stuff. And like I said, it'll be really fun to watch him grow in this tank, and hopefully he does really good in there along with the other peacock cichlids. Now, as for the cichlids that I'm adding in there, I know I said they're going to be peacock cichlids, but I'm also probably going to be adding the 2 baby frontosa into that tank pretty soon. They're starting to really grow now. They're typically a pretty slower growing cichlid, but they've started to add on a lot of size, I've noticed, in the last few weeks or so, and they're going to be outgrowing that 10-gallon pretty soon, and my plan is to put them in that tank. Now, the difference in them and peacock cichlids is that peacock cichlids are a Lake Malawi cichlid, and frontosas are a Lake Tanganyika cichlid. Now, it's not going to be that big of an issue, I don't think, as long as I keep them all around the same size. But usually frontosas are pretty laid back. At the store, we keep them with blue grammies, the bigger frontosas, and even the tiny frontosas, we usually keep them with like mollies and tetras and stuff like that. And there's no aggression whatsoever. So usually they're pretty laid back. They're a slower growing cichlid anyways, and I don't think we'll have any problems out of, you know, them and the Peacock Cichlids. We'll just have to see, but they're still going to be in that 10 gallon for probably at least the next month to a month and a half, maybe even 2 months or so. And like I said, really just once they start to get too big for that tank, that's when I'm going to start to, you know, probably thinking about moving them out of that tank and into the 55 gallon. And then in the tank right next to them, the 2 electric blue jack Dempseys, they're going to have to get moved out of that 30 gallon hexagon tank pretty soon as well. Now, I do not plan at all on putting them in the Peacock Cichlid tank because they are definitely have pretty much no correlation whatsoever. They're just a bigger, you know, South American cichlid, and I don't want to mix those two together. So my plan for those guys is to, when they get just too big for that tank, which the bigger one is starting to get too big for the tank already, but when they do start to get, you know, just way too big for that tank and I have to move them out, I'm probably going to end up putting them in with my other common Jack Dempsey in his bow front tank, because that's really the only other tank that I have that I can put them in. Now, I may just end up taking the bigger one out of there first because the little one's got a lot more growing to do before he has to come out of that tank, but the bigger one is starting to get a little bit aggressive towards the tetras and stuff that are in there. And when they're, you know, tiny little babies, I mean, you can put them with pretty much any fish. They're very, very peaceful. So I'm going to be moving that guy out of there pretty soon. I do know that. Like I said, I'm probably going to put him with my other Jack Dempsey over there because he's definitely getting on up in size. Now, they've been a really slow growing fish. I've had them for, I think, over a year now, and they've pretty much, for the whole time that I've had them, they've been in that tank with all other tetras and barbs that are in there, and they've done just fine. But now, with the bigger one starting to get a lot more size on him, he's starting to become a little bit aggressive towards other fish that are in there. Now, also the Royal Gromma that we got a few videos ago before I left on the trip, he's doing really, really good. He's not hiding at all now, even with him being as tiny as he is. That guy's a brave little fish. I mean, he comes out and, you know, he kind of likes to hang around the corals and especially the zoanthids and stuff. But he's really started to become a really cool fish in there that stays out, and that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want a Royal Gromma that was going to hide all the time in his little cave. And I mean, at night when the lights shut off, he does go in his little cave, but when the daylights are on, that guy, you know, is ready to be fed. He's out and about. He's swimming around in the tank, and he's looking really, really good in there. But that's going to pretty much do it for now. Kind of went over a few tanks and fish and my, you know, future plans with them and stuff like that. And by the way, I'm probably going to start dialing back on the videos a little bit. I want to start posting a few more fishing videos, and that shark fishing video that I posted last video, besides that video, I haven't posted a fishing video in like months. So I want to start posting a few more fishing videos, you know, mixing it up a little bit. And I'm also kind of running out of ideas for tanks and ponds and getting new fish videos. So if you guys have any ideas as to, you know, certain videos that you guys want me to do besides a tank tour video, a lot of you guys have been wanting me to do that, and I am, but it's going to be a little while before I do because there's still a few tanks that I want to do a few things to. Several of my tanks are where I want them to be at right now as far as like all the fish and stuff that are in there. But there's still a few tanks, such as the African cichlid tank, that I want to add a few more fish to and do a few more things to before I do a tank tour. I don't want to do some half-ass tank tour video where, you know, one tank has barely any fish in it and the next tank has a whole bunch in there. So I want all the tanks to be looking really, really good and have them, you know, where I want them to be before I do a full tank tour video. But like I said, if you guys have any ideas as to any, you know, getting new fish videos or tank videos or turtle videos, I need to start doing more turtle videos now that it's warming back up. But please comment your suggestions down below. But thank you guys for watching, and with that being said, you guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.